Welcome to the channel. So today, it's Saturday. We're doing a little bit different video. It is 60 degrees out and the sun's out. Like I said before, I got the new solar panels and we're gonna mess with some stuff with the camper. I'm out here by the camper. We're gonna get the batteries in it and get them in here and get them hooked up. And we're gonna play with these solar panels to see which ones do the best job. Why don't you come along with, and maybe you and I both can learn something, or maybe I might be able to show you something that you don't know. I mean, I just mess with stuff and find out. So no further ado, let's get these batteries in here. We're gonna work our way through the top, get them all in there and get them hooked up and get them strapped down. So save the boring details. I'm just gonna put them in, ain't gonna film it. So I'll show you when they're done and hooked up. We got the batteries in. We got them hooked up. So the way I have my system hooked up, my ground comes from this battery here. My positive comes from the other battery. But it's negative, negative, positive, positive. And the reason why I do that is so it draws equally off of the same. Draws it down all at once. So let's get these keys in here. And let's get, let's see here. Find my main. Okay, that's for the inverter. We'll switch that on. Turn main on. All right, so now we got power to the camper. So let's see if these lights work. And we got lights. Sorry for the mess. Got to clean it up. We're going to pull it out and clean it up. But I got the Harbor Freight panels out. We're going to do some testing. And I'm going to hook up that Bluetooth dangle up to this 10 amp or 5 amp charger controller, Renogy. Seems how I can hook it up to that. And I got to adjust my battery thing to make sure that it's at 200 amp hours because I think it forgets. But so let's get these panels out. Let's get them hooked up. Let's see the difference between these panels and the other panels. And we'll just probably install the new stuff and just get it ready. But so this is going to show which panels are better. But no further ado, let's get to it. So I went in the house and got it. I got the panels out. They're in the sun. It's kind of cloudy. But I figured if I hook this one up, because I can run it on this charger controller here and the other one, because it's got the RS-232. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to hook it up to my phone. That way I ain't got to bring it in here. But it says it's charging. It's putting 14.1 volts in and 1 amp. So that's what it says it's putting in there. But when I hook this up and get this connected to my phone, I'll be able to take screenshots and actually show you in the video of what the Harbor Freight does versus the Renogy. And yes, I do know I'm putting in a much bigger charger controller, but it shouldn't make much of a difference because I can hook up one panel and then show you. I mean, the difference is one's a 30 amp, the other one's a 10 amp or 5 amp. I mean, that's the only difference in the amperage. But so let's get this hooked up and let's see what she's reading. And I'm glad I got power in the camper. Now I got lights. About ready to open up the windows. It's getting warm. I had to get a t-shirt on. But yeah, let's get this hooked up. Let's get this situated. I'll save the boring details and we'll just skip right to it hooked up and see what the phone reads. I'll show it to you here in a minute. But wasn't that hard to do? You download the app, you sign up for it, you log into it, which is fine and dandy. I had to do the same thing with my batteries because my batteries are Bluetooth, so my batteries tell me what's going on. But anyhow, the charger controller that I'm using right now is the 10 amp Wander solar charger controller. And that's the Bluetooth device right here that I have connected to it. But I'll show you on my phone what it's looking like and how good these Harbor Freight panels are actually doing as far as like full sun. So give me a minute and I'll show you. I got a screenshot on my phone and I will post it right here. So that one there is with the Harbor Freight in the sun somewhat. So I went and got my other panels. I'm going to hook up one because we're doing a test. 100-watt panels versus these. Which ones are better? And I might leave that charger controller on there. But I went and grabbed the 30-amp one. So, because I got to put that in anyways because I'm going to upgrade. But I'll leave everything hooked up the way it is and hook up a 100-watt panel. That way, you know, you guys are saying, well, you should have used the same charger controller. Well, I'm going to use the same charger controller. But I don't think I can run 200 watts into that charger controller because I think it's a bit much. But we'll see the difference between the two panels. So let's get this hooked up, and I'll set these over here to the side and get one of these panels hooked up. It's connected into there. I wire nutted it because the connectors are too small to get it up in there. But it's Bluetooth connected. That one's not connected. So I took a screenshot. The voltage is a little bit more. And it puts out maybe, this one almost puts out 2 amps. We'll say 2 amps versus an amp and a half with these ones. And this one's about the same. So let's see if we can hook up 200 watts of solar and see what it does. Let's try that out. 200 watts of solar. The one connected. And took a screenshot of my phone. With the Bluetooth dangle. And I think, so charging watch is 47. The battery charge voltage is 3.7. Battery type is lithium. So it's charging. But yeah. Let's see what the voltage is. 0.237 kilowatts. Solar in full. 3.7, 3.06 amps, solar amps. Solar watts, 42. So she's working. She's doing her job. So let's get this new charger controller installed, and I'll show you what it looks like installed. And which is good because, like I showed you in the last video, which you probably didn't see, I can hook this one up to the new one, the 30 amp. But these are small for small wires. But I'm going to lose this right here, my LED light strip, which is no big deal. I can figure out something to do with that. But I got a place to put this, which is going to work great. Get some Velcro. And this has got a long enough cable you can put it wherever. But maybe the thicker wire might help too, because it drops down the smaller wire. But we'll know for sure. So this is the difference between the Harbor Freight and the Renogy. And you get more amps out of it, that's for sure. Especially with 200 watts. I mean, look at the real estate profile. Get twice the wattage. Then I only got to put 2 panels up, not 4. And then I can put these anywhere, set them anywhere. I'm not going to mount them on the roof. But let's get this new charger controller in and let's see what this reads. And it'll be the difference between the 10 amp charger controller and the 30 amp charger controller. The nice thing about the 30 amp charger controller is if I want to get another panel, I can go bigger, which is good. It's always good to go bigger. But let's get her done and get her hooked up. These 2 chargers controllers I'm going to show you. I had to get a little screwdriver to get these little screws out. See how small the lugs are compared to these ones? You can put bigger wires in them. But Just like that Bluetooth dangle. Tell me what's going on. Plugs into this one too, or this one. This one's got a USB, but I don't use USB down there. But we're going to put this in, and I should be able to wire the wires right into this, which would be great. I can get a bigger screwdriver in there and be wired direct. I'm going to leave that like that, and it's good for the Harbor Freight system. I mean, it works great. If I need to charge batteries, I got a charger controller, and I can leave the Harbor Freight system out and let it do its thing. But we're going to see the difference. We'll have thicker wires connected into it. We'll probably get more voltage, more amps moving through it, because I'm pretty sure there's resistance when it chokes down to that. And we'll be using this little screwdriver to tighten up the wires. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my LED light strip. I might put a little toggle switch in there later on. I'm not going to worry about it. I used it maybe once or twice. As many flashlights as I got, I'll probably just take the LED light strip out of there. But let's get this new charger controller in there. Let's get it hooked up. Let's see what she says on the phone as far as the app says. These charger controllers, make sure your battery's off. I have a switch for my charger controller right here, my solar switch, so there's no voltage running to these wires. So you can see how small it was, but I may be able to cut those off and cut them back and get them up in there and get a nice connection without resistance. And we'll probably pull these LED lights out of here just like that. They're out. But this is for my battery monitor. But see, it left me long enough wires to do that. So let's get her hooked up. Make sure your power is always off. I know my main's on, but I know my solar's not on. And always make sure your batteries are connected to the charger controller before you hook up your solar. Never hook up your solar without batteries hooked up to it. You can cook your controller. So just a word of advice. But let me get this hooked up and save you the boring details of installing it, and I'll show you when it's done. We got her installed. I'll show you what it looks like. What's nice is I cut the ends off. I was able to put them up in here, bigger lugs, and the wire was able to go up in there. I don't need a temp sensor, and I got the Bluetooth dangle hooked up to it, and I didn't have to mess with a button or anything. And what's nice about this thing here is I was able to go in the settings in the app and change it to lithium ion, and it tells you that the battery is working. I don't know what this button does. I didn't mess with it. So this is my installation. This here is my ground, like just in case I want to charge the batteries with my lithium charger, smart charger. I can charge them from here instead of letting my charger converter charge the batteries. It's kind of redundant, but it works for me. And took the LED light strip out. So let's get the solar panels hooked up and let's see how many watts it's going to push, and I'll take a screenshot with my phone, which is nice because I can see what's going on with the phone without having to come underneath and look. You know, I can pull out my phone and be like, oh yeah, okay, all right. But the sun's out, so let's see what she's doing. 200 watts of solar. You can see it's on. Green, green, blue. Solar's working. I like the 30 amp charger controller better than the 10 amp one. 10 amp one's pretty small. But, so I took a screenshot off my phone of what it's pulling in. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys what you decide. I'm just showing the numbers. But like I said before, I knew now what I knew then. I just would have spent the money and got Renogy. It's around the same price, if not a little bit more. But at least now with the 30 amp, if I want to get another panel, I can add another panel. And then, you know, do a lot more. now I'm almost pushing almost 5 amps into the batteries, which is good. So it's like, you figure 2.5 amps per panel. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Till then, I'll see you then.